Hey guys, thanks for checking out this donut tutorial. Hopefully you like it. We're going to be making it in EEVEE today. First thing we're going to start off with is a torus. So we are going to crank up the center section until it kind of looks like a donut. Looks good. And then I'm going to crank these guys way up. Then this way up. Till I kind of get a square, some square geometry here. Then right click, shade it smooth. And I noticed donuts have this little, these indentions that look like a cooling rack or something like that, like a grill grate almost. I'm not a baker, so I can't tell you what they are. So we're going to make those. Tab into edit mode. Click up here. That way you can get your vertices on the back. Hit B. Grab an area of them. Hit S, Z. Did I grab all those? Hold on. Yeah, alright. SZ a little bit, then GZ. Bring that up. Tab out of edit mode. Now we have this nice flat bottom. And what we're going to do is go to the sculpting tab. Now this is like the only sculpting that we're going to do. It's super quick. But what we need to do is add a multi-resolution surface. Subdivide it twice. And then what we're going to do is hit N. Go to this tool icon. Symmetry and turn off X. And I'm going to go at an angle. Just going to make like tic-tac-toe looking board. Oh, not with that tool though. Drag this out so you can actually see what these are. We're going to grab our crease tool. Come right down through here. Now, yeah, it looks good. I might bump up the strength to like 0.35. And then make my next one. And then this one. I'm just using a mouse. I don't have any fancy like drawing tool, like a tablet or something. That looks terrible. Hopefully yours don't look terrible. You don't have to do this, I guess, but I noticed it in a lot of the donuts I was looking at online. And if you use it in an animation or show a different side of it and you happen to see the bottom, it's just kind of a cool little extra feature on your donut. And once you have that, I'm going to go into smooth right there. That's way too powerful. I'm going to bring that down to like here. There we go. Don't want it too powerful because I don't want to lose my lines. But I don't want all these little jagged areas. Even though in this render, you're not going to see the bottom. But who knows what you guys are going to do with it. I'm going to smooth this out here. I don't want these all the way up that high. If you hit F, you can adjust your radius. That's like literally the only sculpting shortcut that I know. I think this is the most I've ever sculpted. I mostly do a lot of animations like CAD stuff or product visualizations. And ta-da. Alright, one last quick thing is donuts have this like little crease down the middle of them. Some are more prominent than others. I think it looks cool and it just adds a little bit of detail. Now they are not perfectly straight. Kind of like a pancake. If you look at some fancy pancakes, you'll see there's this like two layer, an upper and a lower. This kind of has that same looking thing on some of the donuts, not all of them. But I'm taking what I like from the donuts I saw, and I'm making it in my donut. So grab your smooth shading again. Just smooth this out. Okay. There we go. I'm going to smooth that out too. These guys down here. There we go. So I'm going to go back into my layout. And there. Looks kind of cool. I'm going to pause this real fast to make sure my recording's working. The last 3 times it has not been. So let's make our texture real quick. So pull this guy up. We don't need to really have a bunch of room up here. Go to your shader editor. Add a new principled shader. And we're going to need a color ramp. We're going to need a separate XYZ. And I'm hitting Shift A, and I don't know where anything is over here. I just hit Shift A and S, and I type what I want. So I need a texture coordinate. I've done that since I started using Blender, and I still have no idea. I'm sure I could find them, but it would just take me a long time. And alright, what I want to do is I want to go and make sure you have the Node Wrangler installed. Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, type in Node, and this Node Wrangler here, it's awesome. It allows you to preview whatever node you're currently working on so you can see exactly what it's doing. So this guy might look new to you, but what I want to do is I want to take the generated coordinate on the X value, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Oh, let me render. Oh, that looks beautiful. Alright, so oh yeah, we want to change this to ease. So it's a smoother fall off. You see how this is going up and down? Y makes it go left, right. X in this case will make it come forward and backward. Well, we don't want that. We want up and down. And I actually want black, white, black. And the first time I made this, I ended up making 3 different nodes, and I turned it into a mask, and I had 3 different colors. And through playing around, I found I don't have to do all that craziness. So instead of moving it around this way, I'm going to get it to about the thickness that I want it. There. Looks good. And I'm going to add a math node. And I'm going to subtract. So that brings it up here. Hold Shift. Bring that guy back down. And I see my little divot right here. And what I'm trying to do is get that around the area that we sculpted the curve in. So let's plug this into the color. Ah, see? Delicious Oreo donut. Actually doesn't sound that bad. But I want this to be a donutty, goldenish, brownish. Oh yeah, there. And I want you to be the same color. Beautiful. And this is light, fluffy, airy for like a glaze. Usually even the cake donut has a little bit of subsurface scattering in it, it looks like. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And right now it looks gross. So we're going to introduce a little bit of that brownish, orangish into the subsurface. And you may not think this is looking too awesome, but just wait until we add the bump. I feel like the bump really makes this. Also, what we want to do is, even though this is random, I want this to be random. It's way too uniform. So I'm going to break it up with a noise texture. Let's see here. Throw my noise. And I'm going to need another math node, so I'm going to grab that. And I'll make this come from the same generated coordinate too. So plug that into the vector. And then we're going to want our factor to go into a value here. Plug this in here. And I had it at subtract before, but after I got this broken up enough to how I wanted it, I didn't like how it looked. So I ended up going to multiply, which allowed me to really turn this guy up and bring it down. Let's see. There we go. And there's a point where you can move it. There we go. And it'll be nice and randomized here for you. Alright, if you guys see my cursor just randomly like jump around, I'm just pausing the video a couple times to make sure my my audio is still recording. Still going good so far. So now this is kind of where the magic happens, I'd say. We are going to make the bump part of this. So what we're going to need is another noise texture. And I want a bump node. And I want another bump node. So normally you have your color channel. And then you have a roughness, and you have a normal or a displacement. So in this case I only have a color or albedo channel, and the other channels are usually non-color values, so they're black and white, like grayscale. So if you just hit Shift A, S, type BW, we can just make this black and white real quick. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and put him in here. Let me move all this. It's driving me crazy. There. And then we'll take this normal right here, plug it into here, and then the normal into the normal. So we've got value going to height. And oh yeah, I forgot about this noise texture. Alright, sorry. Let's well, I guess we don't really have to back up. We'll just take this guy, move this here, and then we'll take this and plug it into this guy's height. Let's knock this guy's strength way down though. And this, we don't want it that noisy. So we're going to bring this down somewhere in here. There, if you want to see. There, I feel like this is too high. I'm going to bring this, I think like 2 is its default value. Let's make it 2. Oh yeah, I want that to be on my object. That'll map it a little bit differently. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So here, and we need to adjust this because right now it is looking slightly crazy. So we'll take this down to like probably like 1-ish. There. What if we invert? What if we invert this? Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't really mind that. It's interesting. Alright, now I don't want this to be that crazy. If you hold shift you can really fine tune it. Fine tune your slider. So there we go. Alright, that's about the bread / bump texture that I'm going for. Next, I don't like how this is shiny. I want this to be shiny on, let's say, this noise value here. So actually, let me just grab a new one. Shift A, S, color ramp. I'm going to take, I'll do the color into here. And then we're going to put that into the roughness. And something that I always remember is black reveals. So it's revealing the glossiness. And white conceals. And that makes it a little more rough. So what I want is I want it to be, along that noise texture. Kind of on the high parts it's shiny, on the low parts it's not. But I don't want it that reflective. So if we take this and bring it into more of a gray value, it dulls that out. See that? So I'm kind of going for like a less reflective cake style donut. And you may not think this looks too good, but check this out. Okay, we're in EEVEE. Let's go to screen space reflections, shadows. Let's bump these guys up to something nice. There. And then ambient occlusion. I guess we could make this like 64 if your computer can do it. May as well. Delete this light. This light's terrible. Shift A. Go to light. Area. Scale this guy up. G. Move it on the X. Rotate it on the Y so it's pointing at your donut. And if you don't want to mess with always moving and pointing it, take this light. Go to the constraints tab. And then damped track, click your eyedropper, select your donut, and then make it on the -Z. So now it'll always track to it. And I need to turn this guy up. Turn up to 1,000. I'm going to give it a little bit warm of a temp. Shift A, let's add a plane, scale it up. And white planes throw me off. I don't know why. I don't like super bright stuff in my viewport. So I'm going to make that black. I'm going to make my world black so I can really just focus on this donut. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. You can mess with your subsurface a little bit. Change your color how you want it. I think that looks pretty sweet. And now if we take this light and hit Shift D, we just duplicated it. We can move it around. Get a really good look at this. Oh geez. There we go. So it's still pretty shiny. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more to the gray. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty sweet. Alright. Let's take this light. Push that back up to whitish. Maybe drop the power a bit. Just want to make sure this is what I like. And feel free to tweak whatever you guys want to. I mean, you can completely copy this, or you can make it your own. Making it your own would be pretty cool. Now that you know how to do the texture and whatnot. Yeah, I like that. I like shiny, but I know it's not super accurate, but I mean, it's fine. It's EEVEE. It looks cool. Sometimes going artistic is better than going realistic. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Alright, so now let's make our icing. So if you hit 5, 1, tab into edit mode, hit A twice, kind of quick, AA. Select this guy, B, and let's have our icing go to, oh no, there. Seems like a lot of icing. Looks good to me. So Shift D, hit P. Oh, I'm sorry. Right click. That way it goes back in the spot. P, selection. Tab out of edit mode. What we can do is we can select this new top piece right here. Take off the multi-resolution on it. And we do not need this crazy texture. Take that off. Let's go ahead, add a new principled shader, and turn the subsurface scattering all the way up. And I'm going to make a blue one, because why not? There we go. Blue icing. We need to make this a little bumpy though. Let's add a noise texture. And let's add a bump. There. Object. Let's bring this way down. Yeah, looks good. Now icing's pretty smooth. Alright, grab your icing. I'm going to go to my modifiers and solidify. Now I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. And now add a subdivision surface to it. And I forget which way. Yeah, there we go. Solidify, then subdivision surface. Make sure viewport is on 2. There we go. And what's really cool now is if you tab into edit mode. There we go. That's a good way to do it. You can select, I'm going to select my edges, and you do that now by hitting 1, 2, and 3 above your main keyboard, not on your number pad, which drives me crazy, but that's okay. I'm going to hit O to turn on this orthographic editing. Then I'm going to hit G. And I'm just going to kind of mess this up a little bit. You can scroll your mouse to make the area bigger or smaller. Now my one donut you guys may have seen on the Facebook page. I did drips and drops and stuff like that. That took a little while. As much as I would like to do that right now, this is actually the 4th time I've done this tonight because my audio keeps messing up and getting all distorted. But I think I figured that out. And while it's working, I'm just going to try to bust this out real quick, but still give you guys a cool tutorial. Hopefully you can learn something from this. Hopefully you can learn something from any of my tutorials. That's why I created this and I named it Final Result. One of the things that drove me crazy when I was learning Blender was I would see these sweet thumbnails, and sometimes it was like exactly what I wanted to make. Like the artist had this exact same idea in his head that I had in my head. So I'd start doing the tutorial, and next thing I know, I'm 2 seconds away from being done, and it looks absolutely nothing like the thumbnail. Or I'd find a cool tutorial and then they'd be like, hey, it's only $57 if you want to learn this. And I'm like, oh, I'm out. I can't do that. Alright, yeah, I like that. So you guys can pause this video, edit your frosting how you want. If you want to add a drip, I guess I didn't do much variation back here, did I? Alright, I'll add a drip. We'll add one drip. Well, I'll add one drip. You can do like 50 drips if you want. So all I did was I grabbed an edge, or two edges, turned off orthographic editing by hitting O. I would hit E, extrude this down however far you want it, go into my vertice mode. Now this is where the cool part is. Grab this vertice, grab this vertice, scale it in. You can grab that and scale it in, and then boom, look at that drip. That subsurface scattering is kind of cool going through here. I know that the icing may not be that clear, but I thought it looked cool, so I kept it. Alright, there we go. So we've got one drip. And I think this looks pretty cool. Alright, let's do the, whatchamacallits, the sprinkles. So in my collection over here, click this drop down and go to rendered view. So we added this. This right here hides from your viewport, but if you render, it'll still show up. This right here shows it in your viewport, but it will not render. So add a new collection. I'm going to name this SPR for sprinkles. My microphone's in the way of my keyboard, so I'm working one-handed. A lot of fun. This drip, hold on, I don't like it. This is why the drip took me forever last time. Because I didn't like the way it looked. I spent more time tweaking these. There we go. That's a little better. Even though really, if this is a drip, this would be kind of popping out there. Oops. I just hit K to cut across so I could grab this vertice and bring it up. Now I have more of a drip, and I want this to be on the mesh, preferably. Oh, I'll bring that in there. Oh, that's cool. Dang it, now I want to do a bunch of drips, but I won't. I will restrain myself. Alright, so sprinkles. Let's go into solid mode. Shift A, add a cylinder, move it over, S, scale it down, and then S, Shift Z, so it doesn't scale on the Z. So we're going to have one sprinkle, Shift D, X, Shift D, X, scale this one on the Z. So I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to add some edge loops. If you hold Alt and click just right, you can grab a ring. I'm still in orthographic editing, so I'm just going to bend this. And then I'm going to bend it. Nah, we'll just do go to front view. I want to bend this, but I don't want to. There. Whoa, where'd I go? If you ever get lost, hit period, and that'll pull you back to the last selected thing. Alright, so that one's my curve sprinkle. This one will be... oh geez, I don't know. We'll make this my weird sprinkle. Yeah, this is definitely a weird looking sprinkle. And this one will just be a short sprinkle. But what I want to do is I want to bevel these. So go in a 3. Actually, since we're going to bevel these, hit Control A and apply the scale. Oh yeah, and I think you can select all 3 of these and go into edit mode. Oh yeah, you can. This is like the most I've used 2.8, honestly. I like it. I've been using some other software at work lately, and I haven't got to play around with this a lot. Alright, so our colors. Let's do, what do you think? New, let's add a green. And then we'll do, well, like a pink. Where's pink? That's pink. Yeah, it looks pink. And, okay, we were here. So we'll add, I don't want to add a blue. Sprinkles are kind of weird color. Let's add a purple. That sounds good, right? Alright, so the reason we made a new collection and put these inside of the new collection is I'm going to go to my frosting, particle system, new particle system, hair, click advanced. I'm going to do like 100 right now. Render, I want a collection to be rendered, and I want the collection to be the sprinkles. So well, that's not working. What? Why are you not working? Hold on, I am so confused right now. Well then. Oh, there we go. They were just really small. Jeez. I was confused for a sec. Sorry. It had 200 sprinkles. Oh, duh. We need to apply the solidify modifier. That was my bad. And then under rotation, we want it to rotate along the normal. I think it's this one that rotates them, yeah. So this guy rotates them, and this rotates them kind of strangely, but I like it because sometimes sprinkles don't always fall flat. Now, I don't like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the seed till there's something I like. Sometimes it takes forever. Just because I'm picky. I'm going to change this hair length here. Make these guys a little smaller. They're getting a little out of hand. That's not bad. Let's see what this looks like rendered. Hey, that looks cool. I like it. I like how some of these are sticking in, laying on top, coming out from underneath. Because really, sprinkles aren't going to be all perfect. Hey, that's not bad. I like that too. I'm going to do that. So if you have been good, go ahead and give yourself a lot of sprinkles. But if you haven't, you actually don't get any sprinkles. You know what? If you haven't been good, you don't get any frosting either. So you're just stuck with this donut. And it's also stale. So there's that. But if you've been good, crank up that that number there. You get exactly 799. Now these, I want these to be, I don't want to see them, but I also don't want the render to see them. So there we go. And I honestly haven't thought of a final shot for this thumbnail yet. And the thumbnail is what you guys are going to be looking at, because that's whatever we're going to make today is the thumbnail. So whatever my thumbnails are, that's what we're going to make. All right, so let's grab this and hit Control P. And I'm going to parent that to this. So if I grab my donut part, the frosting comes too. So let's Shift D, move this up. And yes, I just have my donut, I know. There, let's make it sit on it a little goofy. And then grab both of these, Shift D and Z, move that one up. Where's my camera view? Alright, let's do something like this. Like this angle. Yeah, there. If you hit Shift and the tilde is under your escape key next to your number 1, you can use your WASD keys like a video game. Move your camera around. Hopefully you don't have this in the way like I do. There we go. So from here, I actually wouldn't mind it being a little more shiny on the donut cake part. But what's cool is we can grab this, click this number 2, and we will have red frosting. Wait a minute, I clicked the number 2. Why did you do it too? Hold on, something weird going. Oh, I clicked 2 on the particle system, I'm dumb. Go to your material tab, click your blue frosting, click the 2 here, then go to your subsurface color, and you can change it whatever you want. Red's kind of interesting. Would that be like cherry frosting or something, or raspberry? So there. And what we can also do is we'll do another one. Shift D and Z. Let's make sure these are stacking okay. Okay, and I want this top one to be chocolate. So here, we're going to make that dark. I think I made this dark too. No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think that's how I made my chocolate. Oh yeah, that's right. There we go. So you kind of got that. That should be more of a brown. Alright, I'm going to add an HDRI in because these lights are driving me crazy. Alright, the best way I've found to add an HDRI is through Easy HDRI. So if you go to your preferences, add-ons, and I put a link below to install it. It's free. Don't worry, you don't have to pay for anything. Go to install, and then go to, oh geez, where'd it go? Downloads, Easy HDRI, install add-on from file, activate it, and then under N over here, here it is. So I need to locate, where is it? New folder, HDRI, accept. And I actually like this 5th Street, I think. Oh yeah, create world nodes, that'll help. And then 5th Avenue. Which one is it? One of these has a really cool contrast. I'm going to post a link to this guy's HDRIs because they're awesome. I use them all the time. Now I don't actually want to see it though in the background. So if you go to your context render tab, I totally just read it. I had no idea it was called that. So camera view. I don't like that view. Let's do a better view. Ha, Leaning Tower of Donuts, that's cool. Here. I always mess with my lights a lot. Lighting is one of the most important things. If you get your lighting wrong, doesn't matter how good your model is, it'll just look like poop. Well, I think I want more bump in this. In the cake. Yeah. There we go. And then I want a darker version of this blue. Oh, jeez. Alright, I need to see here. Where's my camera? There it is. Rest this guy on this donut. Is my donut going through the floor? Where's my floor? Yes. Yes, it is. There. Now let's make this a darker blue. Now remember, go to your material tab, hit this, because now we've done 2. This will be the 3rd. Whoa, that was purple. Yeah, it's cool. A little different. And see these right here, since we just move these straight up, they're not going to be randomized. So I'm doing R and Z, and I'm rotating this stuff in different directions. That way they all look unique and different. And what do we want to do for our overall view? Because I honestly have no idea. I have not thought of it. Normally I have this all planned out. Let's see. Let's make this like a gray. And then noise texture. Grab a bump. Height, normal. Control T if you have the super awesome Node Wrangler installed, which I'm pretty sure I just said go install. So you should have it because it's epic. There we go. I'm going to do some super noise. Bring down this a little bit. Bring up some of the detail. And I don't know, this is like a concrete-ish tower, or a concrete-ish counter tower. I am tired. And let's break this up a little bit by, let's see, add another noise. Sounds good. When in doubt, just add another noise. And then if you right click, you can just reset to default value. And those aren't the default values, but maybe you learned a new thing. Most of the time it does go to the default value. I honestly don't know why I didn't do it that time. So I'm going to break this up a little bit. Well, how about generated? That'll map it a little different. Yeah, that works. I'm going to do that. give it some roughness. And then RZ90. And that looks like a plaster wall. So congratulations, if you wanted to know how to make a plaster wall, you have it. Oh, Control Z. Get that back down. Hit Shift D, sorry. And then RZ90. X90. And then GY, move it back on the Y. And scale this up, or just move it over to where it covers your frame. And I want this to be a different color. So we can make this maybe like a blue. I don't know why I've done so much blue today. I like blue. I don't know. There we go. Bring this way down. Well, that's weird. There we go. Well, rule of thirds. And scale that up. There we go. And oh yeah, I did sprinkles all over the floor, didn't I, last time? So let's grab the floor, particle system, new, hair, advanced, go to render. We want to render a collection, and we want to render the sprinkles collection. Yes, again, scale it up this time so I can see it. Rotation, change it to normal. And these, I don't really want them like all janky weird sticking out of the floor, because that wouldn't happen. I mean, unless you threw those sprinkles down really hard. That would be impressive. I want these the same size. Make sure they're the same scale, because that'd look weird if they weren't. There we go. Sprinkles all over the floor. You can change the seat up. I kind of want more in front of the camera. I literally just pointed at my monitor to show you where I wanted them, and everyone knows that would not work. You guys can't see what I'm pointing at. Let's see here. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this my 3D viewport. And there, solid, render there. Now I can move my stuff a little easier. Not that though. I just move my lights. I want this to be a rectangle. Square. Rectangle. Ooh, a disc. I forgot about discs. Discs are cool. You know what? We might use a disc, because why not? I mean, we technically just made a couple discs. And I'm moving this back because there's a shadow. I don't like that shadow. That bugs me. So I'm moving it back to the point where you can't see it. And if we have to increase our power a bit, that's okay. We can do that. And this one, let's see, where do we want to hit it? We want the light to hit. That's kind of cool right there. Crank up the power a wee bit. And I want to move the camera in a little closer, so as to GY. It's not straight. We need to make it straight. Oh god. 0. Sorry. There. GZ. Yeah, that works. Alright, that's kind of cool. Now, the number one thing to set off, like any render, is depth of field. I love depth of field. I use it all the time on like every project I work on, no matter what it is. So I'm just readjusting these particles. I think I do want them a little bit bigger. Where is my bigger at? There it is. There. Yeah. Alright, and for depth of field, I always like having some sort of control in here. So oh god. Control Z. What was that? Oh, you know what? You have to be careful when you add things, because if we go to our outliner, I am on sprinkles. So anything in sprinkles right now that I add is going to get added all over this floor plane. So I'm just going to go back into my normal collection, Shift A, plane axis, or axes, however you say it, or you like to say it. I'm going to add in this null, or what is it called here? They call it an empty. Grab my camera, depth of field. I want 9 blades because that's the only amount of blades that you want. Not really. I've always put that in. I think I have a camera lens that's like 8 or 9 blades, and I love how it looks. There. Render. And I'm going to drag this down. Yes, that far. Sure. If you hold shift, remember, and drag up, that will actually move it in increments. So now I can take my null, or empty, and move it around after I say, camera, I want you to look at the empty. So check this out. Little rack focus. What? Isn't that cool? Yeah. That's cool. I'm going to bump this up a little bit so some more of the donuts are in focus. And then if we turn off everything in our viewport, that is our scene. I think it looks pretty cool, personally. Let's play with some of the light here. Well, yeah, that's how I ended up making the thumbnail. I assume this is the thumbnail because this is what we just made, and it's pretty late, and I honestly don't want to keep going on this, but I just thought of something. Let's see if this works in EEVEE. Hit Shift A, add another area lamp, hit RX -90, and then GZ, oh sorry, I meant R, just X 180. I want it to face this wall. There. Oh, that's better. So here, I'm going to scale this up, turn this way up, and by way up, I mean not that high up. There. Alright, so now I can see this bump is too strong for what I'm going for. Let's turn this down a bit. And you don't have to go all the way down. You want a little bit of bump in your wall there, or your back plate, whatever you want to call it. Like that, this looks kind of boring. But just a subtle little shadow looks kind of cool. You know what else would look cool? This is something I do in cinema. My wall is usually white. Hold on, let me try this. Let's do an experiment. Hue, saturation. My wall is normally white, and it's pretty yeah, about that rough. And my light is the only thing that has color. Kinda works. Oh, like 10,000. Oh god, I broke it. There. Yeah, actually that does kind of work in here. That's kind of cool. I want to change my depth of field though. Interesting. I don't like my ground though. I really don't. There we go. Make it a little more reflective. Like it's wet. Let's find a different angle. If I grab my camera. Actually, I don't want to move this camera in case I use this. Camera. How do you... There. I'm going to turn on all my stuff. Hold down Control and hit 0. That'll bring you into your newly created camera. I like this wet floor. That's interesting. Alright, well, I'm going to go back to my original position. And I'm going to call it a day. Now, hopefully, this helped you make some pretty cool donuts. If not, I apologize. If you have any questions, feel free to post them up and ask. I will do my best to answer them. I do try to answer every question that comes up. Sometimes I can't always get to it that day, but I usually end up seeing it and getting to it. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I should have a bunch more coming up soon. Okay, so I made a couple changes because I was not happy with how the last one looked. So I went to import images as planes, file, import images as planes. If you don't have that, you can enable it in your preferences. And then I just grabbed this from Pixabay. It's free. And I'm going to leave a link below where you can download that. So the floor, that's what I did to my values. And then I added this light back here. That's my light settings. 10,000. Gave it a warm color. This light, cranked it up. Gave it a blue color. This light, gave it a warmer color. You can really mess with your lighting. And then, ooh, that depth of field is a little sharp. I might have to adjust that. I went into here down to filmic, and it was on none, and it was just so washed out, and that's what was bugging me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So you can either use curves and adjust your look this way, or you can not use curves and just go to like medium contrast. High contrast, very high contrast. I actually like very high contrast. If I just move the gamma a little bit. And then, man, that depth of field, I like it, but I don't like it in EEVEE. I guess we'll just do I guess I'll do that. And then I made a big old light back here. And that light is what's messing with me. Whoa, I just flipped it the other way. If you look, see how big this is? So technically the camera can see that. If I scale this behind the donut, or move it out of the way, I lose that really big depth of field that is on here along the side of the donut right there. So I might just move this up higher. There we go. It's not bad. I like it. I'm going to try cranking my render samples way up, like ×5. And we'll see what that gives us. Alright. So yeah, that's the end. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it was slow enough for you too. I know I went kind of quick. But this was kind of just up to you on how you wanted it to look, really. Once you got the donut texture, which is what probably most people came for, you could probably just shut this guy right off. But if you stayed for the whole thing, cool. Check out some of the other tutorials that I have. The watch one and the beer bottle one are some of my favorites. They were a lot of fun to make, especially the watch. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to leave it there and call it a night. Alright, thanks for watching.